Hello, this is Paul Cheney with Spartan Design University. Let's continue styling our desktop by adding these artistic borders on the side, which are around the navigation, the content, and the footer. And they're all done very much the same, so we'll just start with the top one. Okay, remember that we have our navigation, which is wrapped in a middle div, which is wrapped in a left div, which is wrapped in a nav wrapper div. So, because all of those are non-styled, all we're seeing is the current nav. So let's go ahead and apply some styling to those. So under navigation, we'll talk to the div dot nav wrapper. We'll do a couple of things to it. First of all, we'll assign it a background color. And let's do 0046 EB, which is a blue. Save it. And we're not going to see anything because the nav is 100% and the blue is hidden behind it. So now we need to take the one that lives inside of the nav wrapper, which is the div left. So nav wrapper, which has a child of div.left, and we'll give it a width of 91.666%. Now we discussed earlier that that represents 11 of 12 columns. There's one column of blue from the nav wrapper, and the nav wrapper div left now extends only to there and stops at 91%. Now, inside of that one is I'm just going to copy this, something called a right, and it's going to have a margin dash left of 18.1818%, which is 2 columns of width. Now that should give us div.right margin dash left 18%. Save. Oh, it's not left. Sorry, it's not right. It's middle. My mistake. It's middle. There we go. Okay, so that's blue. So what we're seeing through now is all the way back to the nav wrapper. So we need to add a color here. And this is going to be DF0800, which is a red. And that red color should now appear right there as the div left. Now the div left then extends to here. The div middle has a margin left, which allows us to see through to the left, and then it fills this space here. So the nav wrapper becomes the left color. This one becomes the right color. Sorry, gotta get my numbers right. So this becomes the right color, this becomes the left color, and this then becomes, or is filled with the nav, which is styled with a nice gradient. Okay, now we're ready to do the same thing down here. So our content is going to follow exactly the same structure that we used here. So let's go down to the content area. So we've got our content wrapper, which is having a background color which represents the right. The left, which lives inside the content wrapper. There's that same thing, a width and a background color. And then the middle, which has a margin, 18%, must match the one above, and a color. Save. And there's the aqua, there's the gray, and there's that. Footer, exactly the same thing. There's the wrapper, there's the left, there's the middle, we have a width, we have a margin left. Now the footer needs a little bit more work, okay? Because it's not coming out quite right. Fact is, it would probably be best if I copy this, because it contains everything I need. Okay, so let's go to our target here. The target has green over here. So let me inspect that element. There's the green color. So let's go to mine. That's my wrapper. Sorry, this has to be footer. 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 So that should give me, on my example, green there. Let's go back to the target. We need the nice yellow color there, so let's inspect. There's that yellow color, which is going to be the left, so div.left, background color, save. And we certainly don't want an aqua color for the middle. So here's my craft practice. There's that. Now we just need to get the footer finished. Now we got a problem because all the way back here, this is actually wrong. So let's find this nice target. Our target has a gradient in it. So if we use that same gradient here that we used for the nav, we'll be really consistent. Footer. So that will solve it. There's the gradient. There's the gradient there. It's not quite right. But there's the gradient there. So to finish this off, we need to go to our phone, to the footer, and make a couple of changes. So let's go to our tablet. Okay, up here we have our decorative wrapper. The left has a height of, a width of 25%. So let's go down to our footer. And instead of decorative wrapper, it's footer. Footer wrapper left. 25%. Let's see if that does the same thing for the footer as it did for the decorative wrapper. It did, but it put this in the wrong spot. So let's try middle. And that didn't do it. Okay, I found a couple of typos, and here's where we're at. What I had to do is go back to the phone-default. I added a paragraph styling for this text right here, this blue text that says Polchini Responsive Start File. Color A link is the same as the paragraph color. No surprises there. Under tablet, I changed this to margin left because the middle is now kicking over 25%. Okay, so this is the gold color here, and the middle is pushed left 25%, so the nav is just showing up here. And then for my desktop, I actually had an extra pound sign here, and that's why it was showing up funny. So now this is what the desktop is. So that's the code for laying out and styling all of these Mondrian columns on the left and right.